Today on wood turning, well, you know, fall just recently occurred and leaves are coming down. We're going to be making an autumn leaf dish.
Tim's American Beauty was made by Robust Tools, America's premier lathe manufacturer. Quality hardened tool rests and live centers too. Robust. Built to turn wood. Enjoyed for a lifetime.
Easy Wood Tools, best-in-class carbide wood turning tools. I have been wanting to do a project like this for a long time, and this wonderful little leaf came out of this big chunk of 2-inch thick wood. And this is about 11.5 inches by 9 inches, but you can make it whatever size you want. We're going to be doing a little bit of carving, a little bit of sanding, but first we're going to start doing a little bit of turning. Before we get going, I do want to thank our sponsors, Robust Lathes, who makes this beautiful American Beauty and other lathes, and also Easy Wood Tools, who provides us with cutting tools for our projects. Without their support, we would not be able to do this, and we really do appreciate them. And by the way, I am an authorized Robust dealer, so if you happen to be in the market for a lathe, give me a call. I don't know what that means, but it was something. Anyway, what we're going to do here today, the cool thing about this is my leaf is not round, it is rectangular. So you do want a rectangular piece of wood, and I did that because I wanted this just to be a little more dynamic. It's also pretty cool if you look at the bottom, and that's actually the part we're going to start working on right now. What I want to do, we'll get this going here. I'm going to bring my controls over here so they're within reach. Turn this on, and we're going to bring the speed up a bit. It's really balanced. It's rectangular, so it's not going to shake because everything's symmetrical, rectangularly symmetrical. But what I want to do is just come in here first. We're going to need a recess. So I'm going to take this rounded Easy Wood cutter and just push in. This is almost like I would start hollowing out a bowl. Just a little bit of nibbling in. I want to make a recess in here for the jaws to go into, but I don't want to make it very deep. We're going to be working with a very thin profile here. So I need about 3 inches or so, and that's about right. And I can come in here and just kind of clean this out a little bit and come back again. And now I'm going to make the depth what I want. So I'm going to go in probably 1/4 inch max. And you can hold something in the jaws safely as long as you make your tenon, or your dovetail inside correctly. So just press in, make this flat. We're almost there. Okay, now that looks really shallow probably. That is really nice. I like that. On the other one I made, I went a little bit deeper. And when I was almost done, I was almost a little, it's real thin. Never mind. But anyway, I'm going to take, this is interesting because I usually use another tool, but I've been playing with this a little bit and having fun with it. This is their rounded point tool, right? It's a carbide. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make a dovetail inside. And the other thing I'm doing is, you can see I'm leaving a mark in there. So I've made a mark. Now I want to stop this real quick, and this is the fun part. I'm going to bring up my tailstock. Oops, I don't need to move that. Idiot. Okay, come here, buddy. Okay, my tailstock has my live center in here, right? My live center does not have a point in there right now. So what I want to do here is lock this down, and I'm going to push this in and make a mark in the wood. That's going to be important later because I'm going to use that as a decoration, but at the same time, that's how I'm going to put this back on the lathe to clean the bottom. So let me work on this, and I'm going to do a little bit of design work here using the round point tool. And then we're going to start whittling away some of the wood. Now I've been working on this gently here. And when you're turning air like this, it gets a little bit scary because you don't know where the wood is, right? Well, I think Brian will be able to show this the easiest. I have a light set up here. And let's see, you might have to go over that way. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Can you see the shadow come up under there, Brian, on the wood right now? Okay, so that shadow's not touching the wood, but as I get closer and closer, you can see the shadow getting close. And as soon as it gets to where it touches, it's cutting. So you need to have a light up here, and I'm using the shadow to tell me how far I am away from that edge that I can barely see. Might be hard for you to see that shadow here, but I can still see it enough. The other thing is I have my tool rest at an angle, and I'm just doing angled cuts to where I'm going more towards the tip. The cool thing about it is it's an optical illusion. You're making a straight line. Let me go through one cut here and show you. And I'm using my body to make this cut too. I got my arms locked in, and so it comes across just like this. It's really solid, and I'm moving my body to lean as I make the cut. You don't want to do this with just your hands or you'll have a lot of trouble, but let me stop this, because this is the coolest thing. I'm making a straight line, but you can see right here, this looks like a curve. It's an optical illusion. So it's really easy to whittle this away. What I want to do is I'm going to keep whittling this away till I get up to about here and have about a 1/4 inch left, and then that is going to be the depth of what we're doing, or the depth, the thickness, the curve, what we're going to do. But I will wind up making a little foot here that we're going to turn away later, but I need that because when we expand the jaws into here, I need some wood here to keep it from popping out. If I make it too thin, I'm in trouble. So I'll have a little thick foot on there. Okay, so I flipped the bowl, what do we call this thing again?
Dish.
Dish, thank you. The dish around. And I'm nibbling away at it because I want to establish the thickness now. And I'll stop this and show you what's going on here. So you can look at this edge now and you can see I got a little flat spot right here. There you go, I've got a little flat spot. So I want to get rid of that flat spot, and then it'll start sweeping down and showing me the thickness as I go. So this is kind of like doing a bowl in reverse. I don't want to start here and work my way out because it'll make this too thin and fragile. I want to start here, work my way in kind of chunks. You're going against the grain when you do this, so you'll get a little tear out, but who cares? We're going to sand this thing down anyway. So you notice right here, there's a hole in here, and that's how I held it a minute ago with a worm screw. So now we reversed it, the jaws have expanded into the base, and it's holding it right there really nice and solid. So I'm going to whittle away on this, and all I want to do is a nice dish all the way and make it the same thickness all the way through. Okay, a little bit loud. What I'm doing right now is I took an outline of a maple leaf, transferred it over to the wood, and I'm using my little sawzall, whatever this thing is, and I'm just going to roughly cut this out. We're going to come back and refine it later, but for right now I'm just going to cut out some wood and kind of get close to the shape. So you can see I got roughly cut out, and I'm using a high-speed grinding cutting tool here. It's really cool. I'll turn this off for a second. It's a little bitty, it's got teeth on it. It cuts beautifully. It grinds away what I need, and I'm using this as my diameter too. So when I come into something like this, that's going to be the curve, because that's going to help me later, because once I get this all cleaned up like this on the outside, I'm going to come back with a little sanding disc on here and clean that up. And then once I do all that, we'll be ready to work on the back side of this and put a finish on this thing. So it's looking pretty good. Sanded it all the way through. It gave us our last shape. Sanded off the pencil marks. Now what we want to do is get rid of this on the bottom and leave a neat look. So I'm going to take some chamois cloth, put this on here. And remember those little circles I made? Well, that inner one is the exact diameter of my live center with the cone removed, or with the point removed. So I'm going to bring this up, and then I'll bring this back and center it up on that hole. And now push in on it, and so I'm pushing in on that groove and it's not marring it. So when I spin this around, it's going to be perfectly centered, and that design is where the live center is touching it, so you'll never know how we did this. Cool? Ha! Cool. Okay, I need a tool. You can see on the previous dish that we did, these are the design marks I made, and that's where the live center touched. And then also I did that when I made the chuck tenon thingy, the recess. I left that mark. It also is a nice design. But now, here is what we've all been waiting for. I'm taking some Danish oil, and let's see how this walnut looks. Ooh, it's soaking that up beautifully. Get my hand out of the way here real quick. This is a really neat project. I think it's great for the holidays with fall being here. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? And you know, this is something that you can really give as a gift. People are going to love to have this on their table. They might put little knickknacks in it or little treats, even if you want to. You would just use a mineral oil on it, and you can use it as a food tray. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I really did. This is a super cool project. So this is how you make an autumn leaf dish. Until the next time on Wood Turning, keep turning.
Tim's American Beauty was made by Robust Tools, America's premier lathe manufacturer. Quality hardened tool rests and live centers too. Robust. Built to turn wood. Enjoyed for a lifetime.
Easy Wood Tools, best in class carbide wood turning tools.